Hi, I am Audrey Vogel, and I have Tourette syndrome. I was diagnosed when I was almost 14 years old in 8th grade. Um, and I had known that I had Tourette's for a while, for a good 6 months, maybe even a year, because my health teacher, we went we spent a week covering disorders like certain learning disorders and attention deficit disorder and ADHD and OCD, and she touched on Tourette syndrome, and immediately it clicked that it sounded like me. So I bugged and bugged and bugged my mother until finally she gave in and took me to a doctor, in her words, just so they can prove that you don't have it. And I ended up getting diagnosed. I'd actually been taken to a neurologist before when I was 7, and apparently he didn't see or didn't catch the Tourette's, even though it had been going on for the tics had been going on for over a year or two. But I wasn't diagnosed with it, just so that I was a twitchy kid. Um, but my tics, um, there are well over 50 tics that I have just at the moment. Um, Common ones are not, one I have right now is nodding my head. I've had this on and off for a while. And another one is like kind of taking in a sharp breath and like not pointing my chin up and blinking my eyes, which is a common one, scrunching my nose, stretching my mouth, clacking my teeth, and like turning my neck and jerking my head certain areas, like in certain places. And I have tics when I walk, like turning my ankle in, or like it's kind of hard to explain, but like straining certain muscles, like my muscles in my foot and my stomach and stuff, and my arm and my back and like my shoulder, like doing one of those things. Um, and my motor tics, those are my motor tics, and there are so many more. And my vocal tics are less severe. My motor tics also can include they're pretty okay at the moment, but they can include like complex motor tics like spinning, jumping up and down. I've only like pull on my hair and pull on my clothing and stuff and stretch my arms out and jerk my head pretty violently like that. And so they're pretty noticeable. But some of my vocal tics are making like a humming sound, like and that's my most common one right now, and it's really annoying. Clicking my mouth, like doing one of those. Um, what other vocal tics are there? Oh, like squeaking, like. And my friends call that the mousy tick because it makes me sound like a mouse. Um, and I have had like palilalia, like repeating my own words. I had a tiny dash of coprolalia for like a couple weeks when my Tourette's was really bad over the summer. I went to Camp Twitch and Shout in Georgia, and I picked up, obviously, like everybody else says there, I picked up new ticks, which only lasted for a little while, and some ticks got brought back. So over the summer, my ticks were pretty bad, but they always are because I'm like stimulated, I'm doing things, I'm active, and my ticks tend to get worse. Um, when I was first diagnosed, I didn't even like to say the word Tourette's. I was really scared of telling people. And then when I finally did, what I did was I made a list. Every time I told somebody, I write it down. And then it got to 10 people, and then 20, and then 30, and then 40, and then all of a sudden it was too difficult to count anymore. And then by that time, everybody knew. I've been really active in like the Tourette's community. I was chosen as the Connecticut 2011 um, youth ambassador, so along with another girl in my state, Zoe. And we went to Washington, D.C. with 42 other teenagers, and we got public speaking training, and I do presentations now to classes and medical professionals and teachers and workplaces. I mainly like to do schools, younger kids. I'm very comfortable around younger kids. I want to be a teacher. So I do presentations to elementary school kids, and I went to Camp Twitch and Shout, and my cousin, who's 11, also has Tourette's. When I was first diagnosed, I think it was like 3 weeks after I was diagnosed, I jumped right into forming a youth group because there was nothing in my state. I was like, kind of like alienated almost. So I formed a youth group, and that meets once a month. It's called Tourette's in Connecticut, and we have we have kids between the ages of 5 and 17 who come and we do like family friendly activities. Like we go bowling and we go to the beach and the batting cages and stuff, and we do like, kid things. Um, and now everybody knows. This year I got up in front of my class and I made a little like 30-second announcement, just what Tourette's is, and that I can't control it, and I'm sorry if it bothers you, but it bothers me a lot more. Um, the hardest part of having TS is probably the toll it takes on, like, you. Like, you wouldn't think that, like, things like, blinking your eyes or nodding your head or clicking your teeth would, like, have such an effect on you, but it's really difficult not being able to control your body. Like, you want to stop. I've spent hours, like, I haven't gotten to sleep before 3 a.m. in the past 5 days because of my tics. And it's really difficult because, like, the one thing that everybody's supposed to be able to control is their body. And when you have Tourette's, you can't. And that gives you a really, like, a feeling of, like, lack of control over, like, everything. So I think that's definitely the most difficult part. The positive side is that it makes you a lot more sensitive to other people's, not only disorders, but just makes you more sensitive to people who might be different. Like, I'm very good with, like, special needs kids. I want to be a special ed teacher, and I think a lot of it is because of Tourette's. And I'm more empathetic, um, because of it. And, I don't know. I think that's definitely the most positive side about it. I think I want other people to know that it's not, first of all, it's not something that's well, I mean, at least not for me. It's not something embarrassing or something that you feel like, you have to hide when you're with me. I'm fine with my Tourette's. I tell people know about it. My friends are always like, when I tic, they look away, or some of my friends, they get anxious. And, if I'm fine with it, then you know what? It's fine for you to be too. I can laugh at my tics, if I have, like, funny, like, my squeaking tic. I get, like, little nicknames like Mousy for it. And I don't mind that kind of thing. I just want people to be more relaxed about it, because when people are on edge and anxious about it, that therefore makes me more anxious about it. I have multiple other, like, conditions. I have OCD, which at the moment it's okay, but it's been pretty severe. It's more compulsions, like counting, and not just counting. I mean counting everything. Everything I do, walking. When I, like, push my bangs to the side, I have to do that 8 times. And whenever I, like, scratch my eye, I have to do it 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to do it 8 times, 4 with each hand. And so everything's symmetrical. Everything I do is in beats and patterns and rhythms. And it's just, it's so mentally exhausting. I also have very, very mild ADD. It's very, like, under control. It's not even really noticeable. And then I have sensory, like, problems where, like, I have to plug my ears when, like, I flush the toilet. And certain sounds, like, I can't take the sound of somebody, like, scratching on paper. Certain sensations, like, I don't like sand or anything dry. I don't like the feeling of, like, metal, and I'm very sensitive to cold and hot. And this has been going on for a long time. I don't like, when I was little, there was an alarm that used to go off, like a emergency system warning around my house, and I'd have tantrums when that went off, and when the leaves would blow and the leaves would scrape against the ground, I'd have tantrums when I was little. And so it's been since I was a toddler. I do not take medication. The only way that I would ever take medication is if my Tourette's got so severe that I felt like I couldn't cope with, what was going on in my life. I have been bullied. I switched out of my school system because of it, and my new school it's public school, but I don't know why. This district is just amazing, and I haven't gotten bullied once this year. What I would say to somebody who is just diagnosed is that it's not something to be ashamed about. You're going to feel so much better if you just, I mean, I know it's easy for me to say, but just, accept what it means. It doesn't mean that you're weird. It means that there's a chemical imbalance in your brain, and, it's something that is completely uncontrollable, and it's not something to be ashamed about. It's just like, would you be ashamed about having cancer, or be ashamed about, having, a heart defect? No, it's something you're born with. You can't control it. Um, I tick the most when I'm tired, when I'm when the room gets quiet, my ticks get worse, which is incredibly inconvenient. um, when I tick the least is when I'm really into talking about something. Like right now, I'm not ticking very much because I'm really like into what I'm saying. I find that like when I'm focused on something, like painting my nails, I do like intricate designs of my nails because it helps me calm down. Like doing detail things, like making jewelry, something that involves like fine motor contact, drawing on my hand. I can continually drawing on my hands and arms because it just really helps. Um, and when I sing is when I don't tick at all. Therefore, when I'm not talking, I'm singing. I'm talking, sleeping, at school, or singing. One of the four. Um, and that's when I tick the least. So, all right, I guess that's it.